Good morning. Once again, I'm not going to wait till 5:55. This message for today was working on me 3 o'clock this morning, probably even before that. And I've been up for over an hour already at 4:44. Anyway, the title is Currency RV, the Fed, IRS, Cafr, and Human Engineering Harvesting. Energy harvesting. I think I said engineering. Anyway, this is being recorded on Independence Day in the U.S. Yet the U.S. is a major player in the human slave trade. Independence, my ass. Wait a minute, what did I just do here? Okay, never mind. Even Dave Schmidt, who has also talked with the ambassador, doesn't get it yet. He did a great job of explaining the vision of the dragons, entrusted with the mission of returning the people's value back to the people. Then he started fielding questions from his audience. Right away, he talks about paying the capital gains tax on profits from the currency revaluation to the IRS. That's bullshit. He had just finished saying that the collateral accounts would not be released by the dragons until the criminals were removed. The Fed and IRS are criminal human energy harvesting syndicates, part of a global cabal behind the massive conspiracy to defraud and rob the public. One need only look at the CAFRs to see this. Governments can operate without taxation, which is extortion by rulers through the threat of violence. Peace and prosperity for the people of the world cannot coexist with that beast. That is 666, which is being overcome by 444 and 555. Let me define some terms, first of all. I think most people probably know that IRS stands for Internal Revenue Service, and the Fed, of course, is the Federal Reserve System in the United States, and that is part of the international banking conglomerate of central banks that runs the world, and their primary mission is to create wars, conflict, polarization, and to pit one person against another. It's divide and conquer, because their game plan is rulership of the entire world, control of all the resources, control of all the people, control of everything, because they are fear-based, because they are out of touch with their essence. They do not know who they are. They are psychopathic, sociopathic, insane individuals who believe that they have the right to be separate from everybody else, a privileged class that is criminal in its very nature. Now, I'm wanting the redemption of these individuals as much as can be accomplished, but the system that they have created is not viable. It's not sustainable. It's not even reasonable. It must end. The IRS, of course, as I said, is the Internal Revenue Service. It is the branch of the Fed that collects the money. It is owned by Alan Greenspan. It is a private corporation. So is the Federal Reserve, a private corporation, for profit. It has nothing to do with serving the public. Neither of these organizations serve the public. They rob the public. What is CAFR? C-A-F-R. It means Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Corporations, especially those, I don't know if it's true of all corporations, but those that are masquerading as government agencies must file, by law, a comprehensive annual financial report. Now, what is that report? That is the report that used to be available online. Now it's pretty much hidden from public view because the public caught on, thanks to people, I'm trying to think of his name, Van Buren, B-U-R-I-E-N is the name that flashes in my mind. I can't remember his first name right now. But anyway, Walter, I think, Buren. But anyway, what the government reports to the people, what government agencies report to the people, is how much taxes they took in and fees and other income things, and how much they spent. They leave out a huge part of their income. That might be 10% of their total income. 90% of their income is derived through derivatives and investments and other financial con games to create this substantial wealth behind the scenes it's on the books but not reported. It's the other budget, the other financial report, the one that's not reported to the public, the one that hides the real wealth. When Jesse Ventura was elected governor of Minnesota, he discovered the Cafr funds. And he realized that Minnesota could operate for several years at least without taking any taxes whatsoever from the people. There was enough money in the Cafr funds to operate the government for at least perhaps a decade, with all the people in the world being set free from the taxes. Taxes and fines and fees and all of these things are nothing but extortion. They are issued with the threat of violence, and we do not owe that money. That money is being stolen from us unnecessarily. These corporations, set up as corporations, make money through the stock market, through commodity exchanges, through investments in other corporations. They invest in each other, and they make money through those investments. It's all a con game. It's all a shell game. It's all a Ponzi scheme. The whole thing is, it's all fiction. It's not real. But it is the system that the world works in. Now, Dave Schmidt, I loved the first hour of his 2-hour program. I loved it. He had talked with the ambassador for an hour, and he had gotten a pretty good overview of what the Dragon family is all about. The Dragon family does not want to see the collateral accounts released that will end up falling right back into the hands of the same criminals that have operated the system for the past 100 years and worse, the past few decades, the past decade since World War II, my lifetime, by the way. They realize that if they just simply release the money now, it's all going to trickle back. And when Dave took the first question and talked about postponing the receiving of the funds from the RV, you don't have to receive it all at once because that's going to hit you hard with the capital gains tax. I think, my God, Dave, don't you get it? Capital gains tax is part of the extortion racket. It's part of the system. It doesn't need to exist, and in fact, it cannot exist once the funds are starting to be released, which includes, as I see it anyway, the revaluation of the currency, which had the potential of making people wealthy in money terms, although real wealth is not, in my book, is not measured by money. But in any sense, you went right back in to the same system, and you even said you don't have to pay the capital gains tax till April 15th, which you're obviously referring to the IRS. The IRS is a criminal enterprise. When are you going to get it? Even Mr. Sugi, Mr. Sino, Mr. Sugi in Swiss Indo made the exact same error. You don't deal with these criminals. These criminals, their system needs to be let go of. And if they want to save their own ass, they need to come out of that system. They need to let go of it. They need to tell the truth. There needs to be accountability, and there needs to be justice applied to the criminal enterprises that have been going on for years, including mass murder, including creating diseases, including spraying poisons in our atmosphere, including poisoning our land and our water, and our ecosystem is just crazy. I mean, they genetically modify our food, putting toxins into our food. These are insane people. This is the matrix. This is the beast. This is what needs to be overcome by humanity taking back our power, recognizing who we are, that we are spiritual beings. We are not the fictional name that is owned by the corporate structure that they use to exercise control over us. We are human beings, and human beings are not the beast, even though that is the definition of human being. We are not the beast. We are created in the image of God. As Aristo says, we are the ones that are like God. God made us like God's self, according to what we were told. In the image of God, man was created. And man does not refer to men. It refers to mankind, which includes men and women, the masculine and the feminine. And as we take back our natural masculinity and our natural femininity, and we allow the life force energy to merge, and we start living not just from the mind. The thoughts are great, but the heart is at least 10 times more powerful than the mind could ever be, which is why universes and creation comes not from the mind, but from the heart, because that increases, again, the energy field 10 times, at least 10 times more powerful, which is why I've longed for the relationship of the heart, to relate with that other person from the heart, so that we together, when we make love, could envision the world that works for everyone, could envision the healing modalities that need to happen in humanity and on this planet in order for us to reclaim our birthright. Our birthright is our natural inheritance. It is what belongs to us. The dragons know that, at least the dragons that are represented by the ambassador. At least those, and I had the opportunity to talk at length with the historian yesterday, and I will have further conversations with him. He is one of the dragon family members, and I will talk in the future, I'm told, with the red dragon, and through translators with the master or the old man, and also with the M1 who doesn't speak English. That will also be through a translator. And these are interviews coming up in the future from what I've been told. And I will have more interviews, of course, with the ambassador. But once I start having the interviews with the other people, he said he will take more of a back seat. Now, I don't know how that transition is going to happen. But in any case, these people are ones that have been entrusted by God with the vision of returning what belongs to the people back to the people. But they can't do it with the beast still in power, with the beast still in position where they have the ability to siphon off the fat of the land, so to speak, to siphon off and harvest the value from the people. Capital gains tax, 30%, 40%, whatever the capital gains tax is, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a big number. Who says that they have a right to any of that? They do not. They are criminals. Do you not get it, folks? Do you not get it? This is a criminal enterprise we're dealing with. The United States of America on the 4th of July is not an independent nation. It is a privately owned, for-profit corporation that is a warmongerer and spreads its warlike tentacles everywhere on the planet, trying to control every other government, every other nation, every other corporation. It is a corporation that has its tentacles poisoning the entire system of the world through the Vatican, yes, through the Crown, the Central Bank of England, and through Israel, which is a Zionist puppet state of the central bankers. And I'm not talking about Jews, and I'm not talking about the people of Israel. I'm talking about the leadership. It is a criminal operation. Governments that have been incorporated are criminal enterprises. The corporation is a criminal structure. It is a structure that allows its owners to escape accountability, to escape responsibility for their actions, and to be able to be let go scot-free. They don't get charged with the murders they commit. They don't get charged with the monies that they steal. They don't get charged with all of the assaults and the other things on our human rights. They do not get charged with anything because they consider themselves to be above the law. And they have made the laws. They have legislated a whole lot of codes and regulations that are not real laws, because real law is first do no harm, and they do all kinds of harm in every direction to everything they touch, including their own being, because they don't understand that life is an interconnected web and that it is made to run on the energy of love and natural compassion and compassion, and it's made to love on the energy of synergy, of cooperation, of coming together in a way that accentuates the gifts and the talents and abilities of each individual and works its best to bring out the best in things, not to control, not to subjugate, not to dominate others. That is a sick game, and that is the beast, and that is in each of us, but it's exemplified mostly by those who claim to be our leaders. And some of them are still Dragon family members. I'm not talking about the Dragon family that's centrally located right now or located in China. I'm not talking about that aspect of the Dragon family. I'm talking about the Dragon family that's in Europe primarily, that still wants to control, but some of them are waking up too. That has to be. This is the time of awakening. This is the time when the lights are coming on. This is the time when the light is being shined so brightly into the darkness that these things like the Cafr funds and other things are being revealed, that the nature of the corporation is being revealed for what it is, a criminal enterprise, a criminal structure. I want you to see. I want you to get it. Dave, you need to get it. All of you, you need to get it. The funds, if they're going to be released for the time that we need to transcend and to recreate the world in a better way, these funds cannot fall back into the hands of the criminal enterprise, or otherwise we'll never get out of bondage. They do not have a right to any of these funds to be used for anything other than humanitarian purposes. The monies, the wealth belongs to the people. However you measure wealth, it is the people's wealth. It is our wealth. It is our birthright. That's the reality of creation. And it's time that we allow the life force energy in us to rise up to the point where we can once again be empowered and be enriched by simply knowing who we are. We are the prodigal son returning home to the father, returning home to the mother, and taking responsibility for our own lives and our own actions and our own choices, learning how to love one another as we have been loved. Love one another in a way that's healthy, not codependent. Love each other in a way that is friendly and not adversarial. We need to change the way that we think. We need to change the way that we live, not from our heads, but from our hearts. We need to come in touch with the essence of who we really are, spiritual beings having a human experience, and we have the power to transform that human experience into one of joy from one of pain. But the choice is ours. The choice is ours. As things get changed in our world, we need to make sure that we don't fall into the old patterns and the old conditioning of the matrix, the mind control. We've got to be careful of that. We've got to be aware of how we were entrapped so that we don't get entrapped again. But most important of all, we need to see that our future is drawing us like a magnet forward into a world that is beautiful, into a world that is highly creative, into a world that is loving, into a world that is peaceful and prosperous for everyone. Thank you for listening, and namaste.